What's up, viewers? How y'all doing? My name is Nairi Jace. For those that don't know me, you know me now. Furthermore, just to let you know a little bit about myself, I'm from Los Angeles, California, the east side of 53rd Avalon. That's 5 Avalon Gangsta Crips. For those in the gangbang world, for those in the regular world, my name is Arthur Nairi Jace, among many. A lot of homies gonna trip on these glasses right here because guess what? It's the first time I wore these motherfuckers, but you know what? I'm gonna say that this right here, consider this the other side of a Gemini. I'm a Gemini. I was born on June 5th. Just to give you a little bit of background about me, June 5th. I ain't gonna say what year, but I was born on June 5th, so I'm a Gemini. Just to let you guys know, I got a great story, some great books that I'm gonna let you guys know about them. Guess why? Because I'm going to turn my books into a TV series. And just to let y'all know, we ain't finna be going back and forth, editing, doing all this extra scripted, all that scripted shit back and forth. We just going to run this shit the way it come. Because I might fuck up, because guess what? One part of my Gemini is to be a perfectionist. The other part is to do what the fuck I do, be regular. So, with that being said, we're going to combine it in the middle. And I'm not even finna go with the scripted back and forth bullshit and be too goddamn out of control. We're going to keep it in the middle and be regular. With that being said, man, I got a great TV series that I'm working on. It's called the Gangsta Jaketv Series, and it's based on a 3-book series that I wrote. I'll give y'all borrow the first book. Gangsta Jake, The End Result of a Snitch is the first book that I wrote. I wrote a sequel to this book. The reason I wrote the sequel to the book is, man, they pressed me, man. I didn't want to be an Arthur time, too. I wrote this book, guess what? Because I was in a penitentiary and I was bored as fuck. And I wanted to get the hell up out of there with a good state of mind. So I decided to write this book in the last year of a 14-year bid, being locked up in the feds, FCIs, joints all around. Well, I ain't gonna say all around. I've been to a few joints throughout the federal system. Terminal Island, Pekin, Illinois, Taft, California, Oklahoma. You know, I've been a few spots with the feds, but I ain't bragging about it by no means necessary. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying that I've been around a few blocks. I wrote a few great stories as a result of it. You guys are gonna love what I got to offer. And by the way, don't forget, this is based on a TV series, people. I need y'all support 100%. I need y'all support on this channel. I need you guys support with this TV series. Purchase some of these books. Get involved with this plan because guess what? The A-Team is coming. Y'all see my boy over there, Cartoon. Shout out to my boy Cartoon over there with the Nation Foundation. Shout out to you over there, homeboy, A8. To the team. We connecting this thing. We coming together. And guess what? We going to make it happen. But check this out. Part 1 of the book. Part 2, Gangsta Jake, The End Result of a Snitch. The sequel, which is Gangsta Jake, Path to Terror. It's the third one, man. This right here, this is what made me who I am today. Gangsta Jake, 2017, Peace Treaty, 2017. I pretty much grow with these books, man. This book right here, I ain't gonna lie, it's off the chain. It take you there. If you're into the violence, you're into the gang thing, you're into turning up, you're into killing snitches and all that, read this book right here. It's gonna take you to this book. But guess what? You ain't got to go through all that because I'm going to read them for you. This is what my channel is about. Reading the Gangsta Jake story to y'all. Period. And getting my message out about the Gangsta Jaketv Series. I'm on a mission, man. I'm finna get this TV series. You see that board back there? It's a message to the madness behind Gangsta Jake bullshit. And I'm trying to get you guys familiar with it as well. So, without any further ado, I'm going to get into a little bit of my Gangsta Jake story with you. This is the first one, y'all. Check it out. By the way, this book is dedicated to my mom and dad, who rest in peace. Mom, you're going to be proud of me either way it go. Dead or alive, baby. Pops, you as well. Because I was raised in a mother and father household, if you will. Let me go through the acknowledgement. First and foremost, I'd like to thank God Almighty for allowing me the opportunity to make it in life this far. I've been around some blocks a few times and was able to overcome many obstacles. Top, I did it, homie. I didn't believe it when you told me I had writing skills that day when we walked around the inner track of Taft, California prison system. Good looking, folks. Shout out to you and all the other real soldiers throughout the federal and state system who took their time on the chin and refused to go out like so many others who felt snitching was an easy way to go out. Lemuel, it's our time to shine, baby boy. I can't wait till you hit the bricks so we can get this paper. It's been waiting our arrival for so many years. Hold up. I'm going to stop to that. Because Lemuel Jackson, boy, you turned out to be a cold snitch in real life as time went on. One thing about this podcast, I'm going to keep it 100, I'm going to keep it real, and I'm going to let them rats know exactly the way I feel. I don't care how it goes, no matter what. Let's get that understood. But besides that, let's move the story a little bit further. We'll talk about them a little bit later. Anyway, also, thanks for helping me with the editing process. You and my boy Chris Horton did a decent job on fine-tuning my story. Thank you, Rochelle and Danielle, for assisting in the editing process. Without you guys, my dream of putting on this novel could not have been possible. Man, rest in peace to my girl, Danielle. Man, she passed about 5 years back. She was very instrumental with this project. This book's been out about 15 years, just to let you guys know. So, as I read this book, as I go through some of the, stories that I laid out, I'm going to give out some shout outs to a lot of people that's still here today, as well as those that has perished into the afterworld. But shout out to my girl, Rochelle. Rest in peace, baby. We love you. I mean, not Rochelle, Danielle. Rochelle's still alive and kicking. That's my girl, too. That's my partner. Anyway, I also want to give a special thanks out to my Jamaican partner, Rohan Lemon, for coming up with the title of this book. Shout out to you, Rohan Lemon over there in Jamaica. Man, the motherfucking feds deported my boy. But you know what? You want to come back to the United States, you can come on back. You got a spot. I know you ain't coming because you're doing hell of a good out there in Jamaica, boy. I seen them goddamn trucks going up, them motherfucking fueling them diesels and shit. Anyway, let me get to this story, man. Anyway, what I was saying is, for coming up with the title to this book, hang in there, soldier. Your day to join your family and friends will be here before you know it. And it definitely came. What's cracking, Dre? Damn, Dre. Boy, it's going to be it's going to be hard to get to this story. Rest in peace, Dre. My boy, Dre, just passed of, man, my boy had stage 4 cancer, man. We done had a lot of good times, me and Dre. We were settlers up in Terminal Island. We were settlers up in Taft, California, a couple of years at a time. Good dude. Rest in peace, you know what I'm saying? Used to play that chess all the time, you know what I'm saying? Doing our thing, smoke our weed in the jailhouse, running back and forth. Hell of a basketball player. Everybody know Andre Miles. Rest in peace, Drake. AIP to you, soldier. Really gonna miss you, homie. Also, Sheen, Black Tone. Just seen Black Tone at the Freeway Rick 64th birthday. Happy birthday to you again, Freeway. Wood, Benzo Ed. I ain't seen Benzo Ed in a while. Want to see you again, boy. My boy Zap up out of Compton. What's up, Zap? I ain't seen your ass in a while either, Zap. You better tap in with me, boy. You know you my main man. I done cooked all them goddamn burritos for you up in Tab, nigga. At least touch out at your boy. Holler at your boy sometime. Rudy Brown. Heard you doing good, Rudy Brown. Stay out there doing good, boy. Stay up in the jailhouse taking care of your business. I ain't talking about as an inmate. Rudy Brown is back up in there taking care of business as a counsel person. When he was in jail, he stayed true to the game. He was up in there going to classes, doing things on religious tilt. When they're really educated his mind, got himself right. I'm really proud of you, Rudy Brown. Take care of your business, homie. Continuous success with that. But anyway, Solo, Devil, Khalid, doing good, boy. I've been hearing about you. Keep it up. Poncho, Frankie, rest in peace, Frankie, my boy. Love you, man. My celly, Mike Jones. I ain't seen Mike Jones. D. Coop. I ain't seen you from the Bay. My boy Hub from Compton. I ain't seen you, Hub. Fresno D. I ain't seen Fresno D. Low Key. And all the other homies who shared their moment with me in A3C when I was putting this project together. Frog, even though you wasn't in our unit, I also want to give a holler to you for being the smoothest nigga I ever met in Oakland. Stay down for your crown. To all the real homies caught up in the struggle, whether it's on the streets or in some jail or dormitory, keep your heads up, homie. Life ain't that bad. Remember, There's always someone in a worse situation than yours. A's up to all my homeboys and homegirls from my hood. Rest in peace to my niggas that lost their lives in this bullshit ass war we fought for so many years. Hopefully one day we can wake up and realize that who the real enemies actually are. Last but not least, I want to give it up to my little brother, little man, and my main man, Papa G, and G Rat, who have been around some of these blocks with me that I refer to in this book. Little man, I can't wait to see one of your screenplays in the movie or on a television screen. Stay down for your crown, my brother, and don't ever give up your dream. Wait 1 second. I can't close this acknowledgement without showing love to my whole family. It's entirely too many of you to name, so I just want to thank you all for being down for this project right here, as well as other projects in the world. Thank you, family. You guys are truly a blessing. Without you, I cannot do it, and especially thanks to the younger generation. I know I love the kids of the family, nieces, nephews, cousins, brothers. Love you guys. Do something productive for your uncle, family member, and let's all live to be some old people like me. Anyway, let me get back into the first chapter, which is called Reversal. It finally happened. After doing time in the San Quentin Penitentiary for the past 12 years for a crime I did not commit, I'm finally going to the tip. I nearly had a heart attack when I received and opened the court orders handed down by the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. At first, I thought one of the homies was playing a trick on me. Hell, it was April Fool's Day when my eyes read of the documents that freed me. My nigga, young lad, who was also sentenced to die by lethal injection, had a habit of typing up fake court orders and sliding them up under the homie's cell. The homie never meant any harm. He's just silly as fuck sometimes. Young lad and I were library clerks as well as jailhouse lawyers. Years after year, we would help guys in the prison file various motions to the Court of Appeals. Everyone in our cell block had been convicted of serious crimes, mostly murder. All of us were caught up deep in the system. In most of our cases, a snitch decided to call up on the witness stand and sell his soul to the wolves. Yeah, a wolf is how I would describe the prosecuting attorney on my case. The big-lipped bastard reminded me of one of those house Negroes from back in the slavery days. He stood about 5 feet, 6 inches, wore a pair of thick black glasses, and stayed in the same cheap suit every day of my trial. He and a Newton Street police department homicide detective named Pac-Man knew damn well I wasn't the one who killed the little girl in the drive-by shooting. Every gangbanger in the city knew how the Los Angeles Police LAPD gang unit, also known as CRAS, Community Resource Against Street Hoodlums, got down when it came to putting the ultimate cross. If CRAS could not solve a murder, they was known for pinning on a homie who fit the killer's description. He wasn't never lying, boy. Look at CRAS was some cold motherfuckers back in the days. Lisa Leslie, Pac-Man, Garcia. Fuck y'all. Anyway, it was some cold LAPD on our ass. Busted a lot of us up. You know, we went through a whole lot of drama. Homies and busted at them, got into it with them over the years, you know, but thank God we all lived through it. Any rate, as I go forward, what I want to say is, if CRAS could not solve a murder, they were known for pinning on a homie who fit the killer's description. The cold thing about it, in most cases, they squeeze a snitch to crawl up on the witness stand and say whatever they wanted them to say in order to gain a conviction. That was my story in a nutshell, but through the grace of God, all my dealings with the racist-ass court system had finally paid off. After sizing up the official court seal and the authenticity of the posters on the envelope, I realized young lad was not up to the same old tricks again. It was the real deal. My lottery ticket had finally hit. I would be the next prisoner to receive true justice in the California judicial system. But fuck all that. I done gave these folks 12 years of my life behind a fucking snitch. My dogs and I vowed years ago to kill each another snitch if we were ever to run across any of them again in life. All the homies who I'd done time with were stand-up guys who were worthy of the favor. By hanging out with the same guys year after year, day in and out, we all developed a brotherly love for one another. It didn't matter whether you were a blood, a crip, or whatever the case may have been. As long as you were a stand-up guy and not a snitch, then you had nothing but love coming. After reading the court order, I could not wait to hit the bricks so I could get out and look out for my niggas in any type of way whom I would be leaving behind. Young lad, wake up, nigga. Rohan J. Lemon, a.k.a. Gangsta Jake, yelled down the tier, looking through a mirror he held in his left hand. Nigga, I'm free. I'm the fuck out of here. We beat these bastards. Cuz, stop all that damn noise. Young lad is asleep. Drake whispered back down the tier, also holding a mirror in his hand to gain a view of Gangsta Jake's round, smooth face. Gangsta Jake was a brown-skinned brother with hazel green eyes. He stood around 6 feet 2 inches and had his body in tip-top shape as a result of working out and eating properly year after year. Once Dre looked at his face through both mirrors, the giant-sized smile that appeared on Gangsta Jake's face was enough to inform Dre that he was not bullshitting around. Dre immediately set his mirror on top of his flimsy pillow and jumped down from the upper bunk. He then excitedly shook Dre in his bottom bunk. Young lad woke up with a line of drool running down his mouth. Wake up, cuz, he asked, peering up at Dre with a sleepy look on his face. Young lad was on swole with 20-inch arms. He stood about 6 feet 2 and had a caramel complexion with a boyish shy face. Behind that boyish shy face, however, was a cold-blooded killer. He was convicted of a walk-up shooting that left 3 security guards dead at the Slauson swap meet. Young lad committed his crime in broad daylight in front of a crowd of people. Dre and Gangsta Jake knew young lad would spend the rest of his life behind bars. The two comrades never entertained the thought of him filing an appeal on young lad's behalf. Gangsta Jake, on the other hand, had a lot of action on beating his charges. The whole neighborhood knew his homeboy Ghost actually killed the 5-year-old victim of circumstances day after he and Zap committed the drive-by shooting at the local high school. Ghost went to the neighborhood running his mouth about it. Shout out to you, Zap. That was you I was talking about, boy. Even though we mixed it up in there, that was definitely you, my boy Zap from Compton. Definitely. The crowd of niggas he originally shot at escaped the drive-by shooting with minor wounds. In essence, he had no real reason to be running around bragging about the whole what he had done. Had Gangsta Jake been a soft dude, he could have easily pointed the finger at Ghost and bounced out of the whole situation. However, the thought of telling had never crossed Gangsta Jake's mind. He knew he had not pulled the trigger, so he figured one day he would wiggle his way out of this tragedy that had occurred. It turned out he was right. Young lad, we did it, dog. The Ninth Circle reversed my case. I got you, homie. I'm going to show you how real niggas are supposed to carry when they touch out on the streets. Fuck goes the bitch ass. That Buster ain't never sent me a dime since I've been down. He know what's poppin'. And that Mark who took the stand against me, homie, you already know what's cracking on that. Gangsta Jake was revved up. Veins were popping out the side of his neck from being so overwhelmed with joy, pain, and most of all, revenge. He never liked the way snitches flooded the game. As far as he was concerned, the game was over and the rats prevailed. That's what he would say whenever he and his real killers got together on the prison yard. Gangsta Jake was itching to take down one of his comrades' accusers. He felt it was the least he can do for his fallen soldiers whom he was about to leave behind. I told you, homie, I knew we would pop their ass before it was over and done with. Young lad finally yelled back down the tier as he sat on his bunk, calmly placing his shoes and socks on. This calls for a celebration. Nigga, slide some of that green shit in your stash down here. You got plenty of that shit where you about to go. And make sure when you get out to eat some pussy for your dog, he told his partner with a Kool-Aid smile posted up on his face. Young lad was very excited that he and his main man litigation had finally paid off. Congratulations, young blood. Crazy Ronald gently blurted out after ear hustling from the next cell over. Crazy Mike had the look of a Black Panther member from back in the days. The look consisted of a short afro, chubby cheeks, and a full beard held on since his arrest in the late 60s. Crazy Mike was one of those old soldiers who had been hanging out on the road for the past 30 years. He had witnessed the road population flip a few times since his arrest. He was not with a black-on-black crime like most of his partners whom he was sitting on the shelf with. His thing was breaking into white folks' house, robbing, and killing them. He had 4 states executions since Gangsta Jake hit the road in the early 90s. Gangsta Jake and Young Lad personally filed 2 state executions for Crazy Mike. Take advantage of yourself and your blessings out there, youngster. Crazy Mike told Gangsta Jake in a deep, scratchy voice. Go out there and make something out of your life. Son, you already know it ain't nothing slick about waking up in this free hotel every day of your life. Slow your roll out there. Just go round, youngster. Mike, my roll was slow if it wasn't for that rat Lil Pop. If he wouldn't have lied on me in trial, I wouldn't be here. Yeah, not on this one, but probably on another one. Already heard how you was putting it down out there. Learn from an old fool mistake like me, who would never get the opportunity to see daylight again. I'm gonna be all right, Mike, Gangsta Jake said. All I have to do is stay sucker free and keep them gold digging hookers out my mix. Yeah, I can see them all over you now, young blood, fresh out, on Huff. How could they resist you? You better not go out there and trick your dick off with that bitch Tara. Dre hollered down a tear. Tara was Gangsta Jake's girlfriend before he came to prison. She was tall and possessed the body of a video girl. Her perfect round ass and juicy lips instantly attracted Gangsta Jake when he first met her at the Crenshaw shopping center. Tara was all the definition of a young freak. When it came to having sex, she was definitely all that he was looking for. She knew how to satisfy a man. Giving head on the freeway at 65 miles an hour is what Tara loved to do. That, along with wanting to ride the dick at least twice a day, made Gangsta Jake fall head over heels for her. Tara jumped out the car months following Gangsta Jake's arrest. She did not have the decency to wait around and see if he would beat his charges. The last thing Gangsta Jake heard about her, she was balling by way of a dope dealer out of Compton. Word on the street was her man had gallons of PCP for $10,000 a pop. Gangsta Jake, big homie Horsehead, sent word through his sister Angie on a visit that Tara Dude was one of the best PCP cooks in the city. Horsehead told Angie how he heard Tara and her dude had a matching 500 Mercedes and stayed shining every time they hit the streets. Word had it that her dude even purchased Tara a baby mansion up in Hollywood Hills. Tara was living in high and mighty and never entertained the thought of getting in touch with Gangsta Jake. The way she viewed it, there was nothing he could do for her fine ass behind bars. Once she peeled off with the 20,000 Gangsta Jake left in her care, her mission was complete. Cold bitch. Ooh, cold motherfucker. But they do this shit, boy. I'm telling you, this is some real shit. Trust me. When Tara heard about him receiving a death sentence, the only thing she done was place a collect call block on her phone to avoid his calls. She would have never imagined her wildest dream of setting her vision on his brown skin and green eyes again. However, all that would change once he was free from custody. I'm not fucking with that punk bitch, Gangsta Jake stated while having a strange look on his face. She dumped me like I fell off the face of the earth. It's not like I was expecting her to place her chicken shit ass life on hold and cater to my every demand, but goddamn, she could at least send a guy a dry Cino every month to shop at the commissary, some flicks of that fat ass in a G-string or something. The bitch just left a gangster hanging. If you ever see her punk ass in traffic, tell her young lad said to eat her dick up. Yeah, nigga, I'll be sure to tell her if I ever see her. Before Half Dead, another lifer on the tier. Shout out to my homeboy Half Dead over there in Bounty Hunters. Shout out to my homeboy. We done a little fair time up there in Terminal Island. Shout out to my nigga Half Dead. Before they can cut into the celebration, comments of laughter could be heard back and forth throughout the sales, right? Basically what happened was an old soul familiar song cut right into their celebration. By that time, Gangsta Jake had passed damn near everyone on the tier had joined a chronic to inhale, and they wait to get in contact with him upon his release. The claims and claims from the guard keys could be heard as the guards entered the front of the tier. The aroma lingering inside the air could be smelled in the immediate surroundings. God damn, Billy Bob, the guard with the 2-bar Captain Bars on his collar responded to the fresh smell of marijuana in the air. It seems that we're just in time for the going away party. I guess the word traveled really fast around here, sir, the baby-faced guard in the rear of the trio commented to his comment to the captain remarks. Gangsta J Ride to Freedom had finally arrived. He had never been so happy to see the one time appear. He was so elated to finally be going home, he nearly burst into tears. Captain McDonald's and his crew were only teasing the road full of lifers about the weed smell that permeated in the air. The guards never gave a damn about weed being smoked in their jail. The way the guards viewed the situation was the state of California squeezed all the life they could possibly squeeze out of every lifer on the road. The only thing worse they could have possibly done was snatch the lives from them. Moreover, in some of their cases, the state of California was forced the guards to do just that via lethal injection. However, being lethally murdered was the last thing on Gangsta Jake's mind. He was eager to be reattached with the society he left behind 12 years ago. Without further ado, Captain McDonald gave the orders to state to start the release process. Open cell block 9. Captain McDonald barked into the overhead intercom, making sure the control booth guard heard his voice loud and clear. After the commands were received, cell block 9 was open. As Gangsta Jake placed one tier onto the tier, the entire row began to hoop and cheer. Everyone in the prison had a great deal of love and respect for him. They admired how he remained a stand-up guy in spite of the homicide detective pressing him to become a snitch. The volume of noise reached an all-time high as he began to make his final stroll down the tier. Ooh, boy, it's about to be on. Take care of yourself out there, my nigga. His homeboy Big Warlock yelled from the rear of the tier. Excuse me. AIP to my homeboy Warlock. AIP to my nigga right there. Don't forget, he died in prison, actually, man. Died in prison. Don't forget to get his moms about that. Avalon Blue shouted out to Gangsta Jake as he and 3 surrounding guards walked directly past Avalon Blue's cell. Shout out to my boy Avalon Blue. Boy, we're going to get the life of off with me before it's over with. I got you, homie. Gangsta Jake said with sorrow starting to build up inside of him. Gangsta Jake had a lot of compassion for his home, for his partners on the road. 24/7, 365 days a year have been spent with most of them since he was arrested on February 14, 1992. He never blamed the court system for locking him and his partners up and throwing away the keys. All his blame went to the snitches who he felt had violated all the rules of the game. When Gangsta Jake arrived in front of a young lad in Dre's cell, he made sure to stop and say a special farewell. Good looking on all the hard work you helped me put down. I could not have done this without you, dog. Get at me if you ever need anything. Money, documents from the court, somebody to bring your girl up here to visit you, whatever, homie, I got your back. He then looked at young lad square in the eyes and stated, you got my girl Michelle number, use it. Dre, you stay down too, my nigga. I got much love for you. I got much love for you, all you fools. He raised his voice, realizing the whole tier ears were in attendance. Don't you got somewhere to be, young blood? Crazy Mike interjected from the next cell over. I guess I do, old man, he replied with a look of joy and pain attached to his face. Take advantage of yourself out there, youngster, and make this be the last time you step foot in somebody's penitentiary again. With that in mind, Gangsta Jake said his final goodbyes and kept it pushing with the 3 guards who accompanied him. Meanwhile, Michelle, Gangsta Jake's girlfriend, and one of her fly buddies, Robin, who both happened to be in town, were 5 minutes away from pulling into the San Quentin parking lot. Quick story about Michelle, name right here, Michelle. Michelle originally supposed to be named Robin, not Robin, but Anita. But Michelle was my girl when I was in the feds, and when I read her the story right here, a little bit of it when I was writing it, she was like, nah, take me out that crazy book. I don't want to be in that book around that killing shit going on. I was like, okay, no problem. But I never had met her friend, Robin, so she didn't oppose to what was going on. So instead of having a book, Anita and Robin, it became Michelle and Robin. That was just a little side note. But anyway, so meanwhile, Gangsta Jake's girlfriend Michelle and one of her fly buddies, Robin, who both happened to be in town, were 5 minutes away from putting into the San Quentin parking lot. Soon after receiving word of his reversal, Gangsta Jake saw to it that a guard at the prison called Michelle's grandmother's house, which prompted her and her friend to immediately head to the prison. Michelle was 5'7", 140 pounds, and had the sexiest walk one could imagine. Her skin tone was dark and smooth, which went perfect with her full lips and long silky hair. Michelle was from the hood, but eventually moved to Brooklyn, New York. She and Gangsta Jake hooked up a few years after his conviction for the little girl murder. Gangsta Jake's cousin plugged them up during a three-way telephone conversation. His cousin, Lewis, was originally supposed to get with Michelle, but before you knew it, Gangsta Jake and Michelle were exchanging information about each other. Ever since that phone conversation, Michelle had been in Gangsta Jake's corner 100%. Gangsta Jake started not to tell Michelle about the reversal. He thought about creeping up and surprising her, but he did not want to wait that long to see his girl. He wanted Michelle to be the very first female he set his eyes on once he was freed from custody. Get out the mirror, bitch. Your makeup ain't gonna get no better. It ain't gonna change. Robin smiled and told Michelle while making sure her own makeup was in order. Robin was also cute, was also a cutie who had curves in all the right places. She had all the niggas crazy about her thick thighs and bedroom eyes. She and Michelle had been partners since elementary school. They both worked at the criminal court building in downtown Manhattan. Michelle and Robin also played a big role in Gangsta Jake reversal. Their diligent research and legwork made Gangsta Jake and made Gangsta Jake and young lad work a whole lot easier. Girl, you silly as hell, Robin commented to Michelle in response to the middle finger Michelle gave to her. Robin, I'm so happy I can scream. You should be fine as that nigga is. Girl, you already know those little hood rat homegirls of his are going to be all over his nuts. Girl, I'm not worried about them little chicken head bitches. That nigga is in love with me. I'm the bitch that stayed down with his yellow ass for the past 12 years, running here, running there, making this and that call for him, sending him money every month. Girl, don't even go there, Michelle said while rolling her eyes back toward the road she was driving down. Calm down, girl. I was only teasing. You don't have to even get your blood pressure all up. I'll beat one of them hoes to death if they ever get caught fucking around with my man. Michelle had the look of a square, but was far from being one. Before departing to Brooklyn 10 years ago, she was into all type of drama. Fighting, stealing, selling drugs. Michelle even sell a little pussy if the price is right. However, all that changed once she moved to Brooklyn. She left Los Angeles to get away from all that chaos. Robin was so impressed with how Michelle had changed her program, she decided to move to Brooklyn as well. Back to San Quentin Correctional Facility, Gangsta Jake was in his final stage of his release process. How are you, Mr. Lemon? You must feel like $1 million. The warden reached his hands out to Gangsta Jake and grinned. Congratulations, young man. Gangsta Jake was reluctant to shake the blue-eyed, wrinkle-faced white man's hand. However, he did not wish the administration any reason to slow his release process down. Therefore, he extended his muscular arm out toward the warden. Thank you, sir. I appreciate your concern. By the way, is there any chance I'll be released before the shift change? My girlfriend should be waiting for me in the parking lot, and I don't want to keep her waiting. You know, she's been waiting for the past 12 years, he sarcastically added with a smile on his face, indicating his desire to leave. Oh, yes, of course, Mr. Lemon. My guard should be finished in just a few. We'll need a few more pieces of paperwork, and then you'll be on your way. Michelle and Robin suddenly pulled into the prison parking lot, bumping No More Drama by Mary J. Blige. By then, Michelle had calmed all the way the fuck down and was excited about seeing her man. Two guards standing, starting their work shift, walked past the girl sitting in the car and gave them a friendly salute. Look, girl, he's waving at you. Robin tapped Michelle on the legs and informed her. I see his ass, girl. I'm not speaking to that clown. Them fools had my baby locked up in this damn place for nothing. Fuck them, Michelle sharply stated as she turned her head in the opposite direction. Girl, you're so damn mean. Hey, y'all, Robin yelled out the window before the second guard made his way into the building. Moments after the double doors closed, they reopened from the force of someone exiting the building. That someone happened to be Gangsta Jake with a huge smile attached to his face. His turn had finally arrived. He was, at last, a free man. The first thing he did was breathe in a breath of fresh air. It's on now, he told himself as he stretched his arms from east to west. Robin immediately noticed his presence. Michelle, there he goes, right there, she screamed out in order to gain her best friend's attention. Oh my God! Oh my God! Michelle exclaimed as she jumped out the driver's seat and dashed toward Gangsta Jake's direction. Robin trailed behind her. When Michelle reached Gangsta Jake, her body melted into his arms like ice cream on the ground during a hot summer day. They kissed passionately for every bit of 5 minutes. Michelle was excited and filled with joy. In spite of Gangsta Jake being locked up for so long with a death sentence, he was the only guy who moved her in that magnitude. Amazingly, out of the 9 years Gangsta Jake and Michelle worked together, she only managed to get the draws up 3 times. Every other time she came was with the help of Gangsta Jake via a freaky conversation or letter. He had her wrapped around his pinky finger, and there was nothing she could do to satisfy him. Robin stood inches away from the glued lovebirds, observing their every move. Y'all need to go get a room, she yelled out, hoping to get their attention. Once Robin was acknowledged, she spoke her mind. My bad. I want a hug too, she requested in a friendly but sexy manner. Robin had a lot of love for Gangsta Jake as well. The two had never met in person, but would talk whenever he called to speak to Michelle. Moments after she caught the two lovebirds' attention, Gangsta Jake turned around and called Robin over to the hugging session. Come here, Robin. Girl, you should already know you have nothing but love coming from me. You and Michelle helped make this day a reality. Give me a big hug. Robin blushed and walked into his firm but gentle grip. Once he embraced the two sexy females, he was more than ready to depart from the location he had spent most of his life. He placed both arms around the two girls and walked toward the 2004 Lincoln Continental Michelle rented. Inside of it, it smelled like perfume. Michelle and Gangsta Jake had optimistically talked for years about how they would make love on his first date at the Slammer. Due to Gangsta Jake having a death sentence, he was forbidden from obtaining consular visits. No consular visits meant he had never ventured inside Michelle's love tunnel. He was horny as a toad, and just sitting between the two sweet-smelling cuties brought him to a near erection. It had been so long since he had sat unsupervised among anyone from the opposite sex, he almost did not know how to act. He had heard over and over about how Lucid had gotten in the free world when it came to one guy and two females having sex with one another, that he wanted to experience it for himself. For years at a time, Gangsta Jake would jack his meat off in the shower, thinking about all the wild sex he was missing out on, and there he sat in the midst of his vivid imagination. He wanted to see where the two best friends stood on the issue, but he did not want to cause any discomfort. Instead of him being candid about the desire that lingered within his mind, he decided to beat around the bush with the issue. Y'all both are looking so sexy, he told the girls as he turned and kissed Michelle and then Robin on the cheek. I smell that chronic. Let me hit something. Michelle reached between her 38Ds and handed her man a 50 sack of sticky green. Now, that's what the fuck I'm talking about, he told Michelle, and placed the see-through bag up to his nostrils and inhaled. He then rolled a joint the size of an oversized toothpick. Nigga stuck in prison. Got to elevate, baby. What are you doing with that little bitty thing? Michelle smiled and chuckled. Smoking anything bigger than this is a waste of weed, he said as he blazed and took 2 long puffs before passing it over toward Michelle. Boy, quit playing. Robin, pass me that cigarette lighter, Michelle told her girlfriend while pulling out her bra, a blunt the size of his fat finger. Once the chronic was in the air, Michelle popped the magic stick by 50 Cent and Lil' Kim inside the CD player. Minutes later, Michelle Monkey was starting to get wet from the chronic and the thought of how her man would be soon sexing her up. She looked over at Gangsta Jake and expressed Gangsta Jake and an expression that told him she did not want to wait the 8-hour drive it would take for them to reach their destination in Los Angeles. He noticed her actions and felt the need to capitalize on the situation. Let's go get a room before we make it to the city, he threw out there, searching for a concurrent response. No, y'all can drop me off, Robin quickly answered. Before she could say a word, Gangsta Jake blurted in. We're not going to take that long, Robin. Just kick back. You rolling with us. No, I'm not, boy, she responded. Knowing damn well she wanted to go. Michelle was not tripping. She was down with whatever Gangsta Jake had planned. When he mentioned getting a room, she never said a word, although she did not speak about having sex with both of them. Michelle and Robin could infer his intention by the look in his eye and how affectionate he had become after all them hugged in the prison parking lot. Michelle was not into having sex with females, but she was the type of girl who was down to do whatever her man wanted her to do. How many females like that out there? Matter of fact, y'all hold that thought. Y'all tell me about that later. Because some of y'all a little bit down the ride with a guy no matter what. Some of you look crazy, but some of y'all right. Robin, on the other hand, had been freaking with a guy and a female at the same time on a couple of occasions, but never revealed her secret to Michelle. As bad as she wanted to get out with Michelle and Gangsta Jake, she was too ashamed to go there. Therefore, she declined. Rohan, I love you, boy, but not like that. Michelle and I are best friends. Robin wailed out, looking toward her girlfriend. She wanted to know what was on Michelle's mind. However, Michelle kept her in the blind by remaining focused on the highway. After the trio drove past a few freeway off-ramps, Michelle rolled her eyes and boldly blurted out what was on her mind. Girl, I'm about to go fuck my man. Without waiting on a response from Robin, she exited the freeway in a little hick town. Gangsta Jake admired how aggressive Michelle had become. Before you knew it, she was rubbing the shaft as though it was being used to change gears in the car. Damn, baby, you working with a whole lot down there. I should have gotten you off the hook a long time ago. That way I could have had some of my papa. Hearing the word papa was a complete turn off to Gangsta Jake. He hated his ex-homeboy Lil Papa with a passion. Before Lil Papa took the stand against Gangsta Jake in trial, they were not everyday running buddies, but homies who both represented the Avalon Gangsta Crips. Gangsta Jake was from the Fire Trade chapter of the Avalon Gangsta Crips. Lil Papa was from the 40th Street Avalon Gangsta Crips. Woo! Getting kind of hot up in there, baby. Got to keep it real, 100. This is a fictional book too, by the way, so y'all don't get too excited when y'all hear these rats' names being told. But anyway, after Gangsta Jake Gangsta Jake trial, Lil Papa stopped coming to the neighborhood, and none of his homeboys ever heard from him again. Gangsta Jake, being the young rider that he was not satisfied with that alone. He figured if he wanted to see Lil Papa 6 feet under, he would have to do it on his own. Finding out Lil Papa or any other snitch location would not be a hard task. His girl, Michelle, did work at the Compton courthouse and had access to all confidential informers' personal information. Gangsta Jake knew that once he hit the streets, Lil Papa days on earth would be limited. Michelle, don't ever let the word Papa come out your mouth again. That bitch ass nigga is the reason my life had been on hold for all these damn years. Motherfuckers like that don't deserve to live. He yelled. Gangsta Jake was starting to get deep into his feelings and eventually checked himself before allowing his temper to get too much out of hand. Instead of allowing that rat, as he put it, Jack his first day off the slammer, he simply relaxed and enjoyed his time back into society. My bad, y'all. My bad, homie. My bad. My bad, y'all. I didn't mean to get so upset about that. Once the situation became calm, Gangsta Jake kissed Michelle on the neck as she found a parking spot at the Motel 6 parking lot next to the Waffle House. Robin, why don't you get us something to eat? While me and Rohan go check into the room. I'll leave a key for you at the front desk. Get us anything. I'm not tripping. And I know Rohan ain't tripping based on all the garbage he's had. Okay, I'll see you two lovebirds in a little while. Michelle drove Robin to the front desk of the Waffle House and found a parking spot adjacent to the motel. Within a New York minute, Gangsta Jake and his girlfriend were walking inside the room. Before you can get in good, Michelle began taking off his clothes from behind. So, baby, you really did want to fuck both of us? Michelle whispered to her man as she kissed the back of his neck. No, I just wanted to fuck. Robin, I wanted to make love to you, boo. So, you aren't tripping? Is that what you want? Is that what you want to do? She hunched her shoulders and said with a sort of sad look. In the same motion, she unbuckled his pants and sucked her right hands inside them. When she turned Gangsta Jake around and looked at the bald-head champ he possessed inside his Sean John jeans she purchased, all her unhappiness faded away. Damn, fuck what 50 Cent is talking about. You got the real magic stick. Go lay down, baby. I just want to suck on some of this before I hop on top of it and ride it. Michelle's entire attitude changed. Slow down, baby girl. Before you do that, get naked. I want to see you and that body up and down. I already know it's right by looking at it in those tight jeans, but I want to see it in the raw. She responded without hesitation. As she undressed, Gangsta Jake thought about the many years he had spoken about having sex. Instead of rushing into what had taken years to establish, he wanted to savor the moment. Michelle slowly unbuttoned her blouse and laid it on the bed. Her hard nipples poked straight up and could be viewed through the white Victoria bra she wore. Take your pants off, he told her as though he had become intoxicated with the sight of her perfectly shaped physique. Michelle dropped her pants and proudly showcased her body as if she was a full-blooded thoroughbred. She looked like a female that had been handcrafted by a sex fiend. Her ass was round as a basketball and pretty as one that had never hit the concrete. Michelle was bad as they came, and she did not mind setting out in front of the man she had waited so long to accompany. The few other guys who did have the pleasure to hit her had never enjoyed seeing her in that magnitude. Michelle set her ass cheeks on top of the room table, laid back, and began spreading her legs wide open. She wanted to make sure Gangsta Jake had a good view of how neatly trimmed her kitty cat hairs were. Let's go back right there a minute. How many of you females out there been staying down for a guy in prison and just need a little bit of attention and feel that you can go out and get a little bit, not a whole lot, just a little bit if they got, just say, like Gangsta Jake right here. He done 12 years. Michelle stayed down probably like 10 years of that 12 because she knew him 10 years of it. She went and gave the pussy up 3 times. What do y'all think about that? Tell me in the comments what y'all think about that. Should you give a little bit up? Should you stay down with your guy? If it's your husband, if it's not your husband? I mean, that's different scenarios that come with it, but at the end of the day, would you get a thing up? Or would you stay down to the end? Anyway. Okay, that's a good question. Okay, Michelle set her ass cheeks on top of the room table, laid back and began spreading her legs wide open. She wanted to make sure, okay, I went over that part right there. And basically, Gangsta Jake had a good view of how neatly trimmed her kitty cat hairs were. Once that was established, she took her left index finger, slid her black G-string to one side, and slowly penetrated herself with her middle finger. She enjoyed how mesmerized Gangsta Jake was about her performance. Looking at how freaky Michelle had become made his mouth literally water. He had never experienced anything like that in his entire life. Only in his kinkiest dreams. Gangsta Jake was only the tender age of 16 when he was charged and later sentenced to death as an adult. The boy could count all the females he banged on one hand, and a third of them were strawberries, getting them off for a 10-piece of crack. He went from sitting on death row to having a fat muffin at his disposal. Not a bad transition for a young, state-raised thug. Come on, get some of this pussy, baby. It's wet as a water faucet for you. Michelle spoke seductively as she placed her now moist finger inside her wet, full lips. Gangsta Jake suddenly could not resist his prized possession any longer. He stood up, fully erected, and walked over to Michelle, holding his pipe in his right hand. As he came within arm distance, she slowly went to her knees and gently cupped him by his hairy testicles. She then placed him in her mouth as much as his pipe that she could handle, right? He held her silky hair that rested on her back of her head, on her back, and helped guide the bobs and weaves that brought him so much pleasure. Michelle slowed her stroke and went straight to the crack of his head. Damn, she was cracking. Sticking her tongue inside his pee hole almost made him come. However, he snatched it out and became before that occurred. Okay, he had to get him out of there, man. That thing was getting too good tonight. Woo! What's going on? What's wrong, Rohan? Don't you like it? Hell yeah, I like it. Another minute of that, I would have came out of your mouth. So what's wrong with that? She looked up and asked with a giant smile on her face. No, baby, I want my first dose of corn that. He responded and pointed at the fat muffin between her legs. He wanted to put a baby in her. Okay, sweetie, let's do it then. Because I got to have some of this. She licked on him a few more times before releasing him like a good ice cream cone she did not want to put down. Once they made it over to the bed, Michelle lay flat on her back and placed within her hand every inch of his manhood. After their position was established, she guided him into her wet hole like it was the vibrator she had become so accustomed to handling. The live pulse that penetrated her felt 100% better than the battery-operated machine she played with years after years while the love of her life was incarcerated. She admired all 8 inches of him. Damn, baby, this pipe is so good. Michelle moaned and grunted as tears came running down her face. I love you, baby. Rohan, I love you, baby. Please don't stop, she begged as she came within the first 2 minutes. Gangsta Jake noticed her instant discharge and felt the need to catch up. He immediately began to deep stroke her like a madman. No, baby, don't come, she quickly said. I just came fast because I was horny and could not. She moaned with pleasure and pain. I couldn't help it. I'm not finished, Rohan, she adamantly told Gangsta Jake as she pulled him toward her. She was far from being out of gas. The fast orgasm only made her crave him more. Let me get on top and ride it, baby. I don't have no problem with that, sexy. They switched positions, and Michelle was now driving the car. As a result of her having low mileage, she was tight and pleasant to be in. Gangsta Jake felt better than a kid in a candy store. He was having the pleasure of his life. The time of his life. 38 D's in his mouth, tight monkey on his jock. What else could be better, he wondered. Michelle was on one. She bounced up and down on the pipe as if she was the one who had just served a lengthy prison sentence. Whose pussy is this? That's the first thing they say, boy. You already know. But guess what? Woo! I'm going to tell y'all in a minute. He smiled and asked while holding on to both her breasts. It's yours, baby. That's the first thing they say. It's yours, baby. I don't give a damn whose it is. They gonna say it's yours. They gonna say it's yours. Anyway, at that particular time. It's yours, baby. Beat it up, daddy. She screamed out loud, making sure not to use the word papa. Is it what you expected? Hell yeah. Just don't come yet. She played as her body began to shiver from all the downstroking she was doing. Ride it faster. Go faster. No, I don't want you to come yet. Girl, I got this. Just keep working it. Damn, this dick feel good, Michelle yelled out, and it hurt good. Scream. Shit, Robin whispered to herself as she stood motionless outside the thin motel door. She had been standing there for the past 5 minutes holding what now had turned into a cold meal with her little nasty ass. When, I ain't gonna say she nasty, she was just a little freak. She wanted to hear a little something before she made it inside. When she first walked up to the door, Gangsta Jake and Michelle were in full motion. The session they were having sounded so good, she did not want to disturb it. Besides, she was enjoying listening to her friend getting her sex on. 5 minutes of snooping on their lovemaking had Robin panties wet and her plotting on the way to be a part of it. The motel manager noticed Robin with her ear on the door of the room 69 and decided to investigate the young woman's intention. Excuse me, miss, the old white woman said as she crept up on and scared the hell out of Robin. What in the world are you up to? do you know the party inside that room? She pressed, pointing toward the room Gangsta Jake and Michelle occupied. Robin stood in awe for a few seconds before realizing the old lady husband had just handed her the key to the room. Oh, yes, my friends are in there. Oh, I mean, my man, the man inside the room gave me the key to my friend's room so I can go in there with them. Well, what on earth are you standing here for? She quizzed as she held a panic button to the local police station inside her jacket pocket as though it was a concealed weapon. I'm sorry to be alarming you, ma'am. I just wanted to make sure they were in there. I'm sorry to be alarming you, man. I just want to make sure that they were in there, right? Told you I ain't finna do no editing, no scripting, so y'all better get used to this shit. But I get better as time go by, I guarantee. Like riding a bicycle, baby. When she entered the room, the couples were in full throttle, so much that at first glance they did not trip on Robin entering the room, nor the old lady receiving an eyeful as the door closed and opened and closed. Robin, you tripping? Michelle snapped as she threw a comforter over her naked body. Did you see that old bitch looking at us? Girl, she ain't worried about y'all. Go on and finish getting your freak on. Granny might want to get her groove back. Send her old ass over here, Gangsta Jake clown, as he continued to stroke his grill. Laughter filled the room as Michelle and Gangsta Jake kept the good times rolling. You'll give that old lady a heart attack with all that over there. Robin smiled at the two before sitting the meal in her hand on the table. Minutes later, Michelle could not hold back the volcano that erupted inside her. Oh, baby, I can't. Her voice moaned as the juices within her began to flow. Michelle closed her eyes, relaxed her body, and enjoyed her second orgasm with the love of her life. Without asking, Gangsta Jake laid Michelle on her back and hit it hard until he came. Robin sat froze as she fantasized on being next. All he had to do was ask for some, and I'm coming out of this hot shit. Michelle ain't tripping. Robin convinced her damn self. Damn, it's hot in here. Michelle, why do you guys have the heat up so high? Bitch, ain't no heat up high in here. You don't have to pretend with us. Rohan and I both know you want to get your freak on. Girl, I'm not mad at your little hot ass for wanting some of this, Michelle said with a cute smirk on her face. Cheerful from her first encounter with the love machine. You know, she happy. It's like, whatever, right? How many of y'all like that out there, ladies? How many of y'all be happy that ain't tripping? Like, go ahead and get your, my partner, get you a little bit. It's all good. I'm just saying. Hey, this is just questions. I'm just asking. Put it in the comments down there. You ain't got to, you ain't got to tell me right now, but just tell me. Anyway, Robin stood there, froze, right? Michelle took her through it. Okay, so Robin was happy to at least hear her girlfriend speaking on the issue. Gangsta Jake enjoyed the exchange of words between the two girls. At that point, there was no doubt in his mind he could have both of them. However, he decided not to go that route so fast. Maybe later, but not that moment. He had a bigger agenda ahead. Besides, he really did not want to upset his girl. He knew she would do anything he asked of her, but his intuitions told him that Michelle did not like the idea of him running up in another woman. Once he got his nuts out of hop, he was ready to get out of town. All right, y'all. That was part one, man. That was it. That was part one of the book. It's called Reverso. Man, I hope y'all liked it. I hope you guys, like the program that I got going on. By all means, Gangsta Jake is going to be in full effect, as I mentioned. Shit. Come back, get a bar of, man, because as this time go on, you guys going to get a bar of me as I go on. Just give me 1 second. Let me just stretch my legs a little bit out there. You know what I'm saying? Got to put myself together. Anyway, man, like I said, man, tune into my channel. Check me out, man. Give me a shot. Check out the other side of a Gemini. This is me right here. That's the Arthur. That's the one that reads right there. That's the first time I actually wore them glasses, and it really wasn't that bad, man. Well, I wore them when I first got them, but, that's fine when I didn't. But just to let you guys know, man, my boy Avalon Blue, he coming out with In the Whip Wednesday, man. We definitely going to be talking about that. He's going to be having a lot of people from all over South Central Los Angeles, from not even just South Central. We're gonna be doing some traveling with this too, and I'm definitely in the car as well, just like he's in the car right here. Whatever projects we do together, just like my boy Toon over there, we all represent that third, that A team, that fire travel line Gangsta Crip. So we come together as brothers and we represent in anything that we do. So by all means, be on the lookout for In the Whip Wednesday with Avalon Blue. He's gonna be interviewing people, very influential people around the city, beyond the city, with a great story about this gang life, about politicians, about all different walks of life. Because with us, man, it ain't just about the gang banging, man. You know, gang banging is passe. We're all older gentlemen now. We're taking care of business. We're trying to move forward and, you know, do something good for our families, for, you know, our legacies and for our community. So, you know, just join me in what I'm doing, man. Be a part of this podcast. Be a part of this Gangsta Jake movement. And as time, you know, go on, you guys are going to see the change in me and the program, because it ain't going to do it. It'll get better as time go on. But just to let you guys know about the whole series, man, Gangsta Jake starts off as a fool, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. This dude, as I tell the story, you guys gonna find out how much he's off the chain, how much he hates snitches. He wanna kill him. He hate the police. Man, this dude is always a bad guy. He murder people. He do. But guess what? As I mentioned right there is a message behind the madness. Gangsta Jake goes on a mission for a reason. He don't know his reason right now. Just like I didn't know my reason when I first wrote this book, when I was sitting up in the federal penitentiary up in my last year on a 12-year sentence, on a 14-year sentence, excuse me. I was on my last year, man. I got bored. I needed to do something, so I wrote this book. I didn't know the direction I was going to take. I didn't know part 1 was going to turn to part 2. I didn't know part 2 was going to turn to part 3. I didn't know that shit. It was just by popular demand. Motherfuckers got to sweat me. I done it, man. God made it happen. Whatever the vision was, it came and it flew. It is here. But in the day, I got 1, 2, and 3. But guess what? I got a bigger vision now. Books is something I've done, but it's a thing of the past. But guess what? They're still relevant. The stories are still there. It's a great opportunity. A lot of lessons is up in there to learn about this gang life, about just the way people think, about the mind of a sociopath. It's just a lot of great things that can be learned up in here. But at the end of the day, as I mentioned, it comes back to this right here. It comes back to this 3rd volume, the Peace Treaty 2017. This is what stopped gang banging in America, man. Gangsta Jake didn't know what the fuck he was doing over here. Just like I didn't know that this was going here. But after he got through doing all this stupid shit, after he got a little sense in his head, Gangsta Jake wanted to put a national peace treaty among the Bloods and Crips in place. And he did it, but he did it by having so much pull, by having so much motherfucking clout in these penitentiaries on the street, by being a damn fool. Because guess what? I got to speak your language, man. People don't want to hear Kumbaya story. You don't want to hear we stopped gang banging all of a sudden. No, you want to see how it happened. You want to see the grit, the grind, what came with this Blood and Crip thing. Because guess what, man? It's over a 50-year war that we've been dealing with right here, man. Thousands of people has been in their grave sites because of this shit, man. Matter of fact, I'm going to give y'all the back bar of this book right here, the one that changed my life, changed Gangsta Jake's life, and it can change a lot of your lives, too. Because guess what? I don't want to kill nobody behind no gang shit no more. But at one point, that shit was really in my head heavily. I done been through the trenches with this shit. And you know what? I'm not even proud of this shit. It's just something that happened, something I'm not proud of at all. But there's a message behind the madness. But let me read this to you guys. I'm going to get up out of here because it's going to be another part. We can't do it all in one night, but I definitely want you guys to come back and get a bar what I got to offer right here, because Gangsta Jaketv TV series is going to be reality, and it's going to be reality through you guys' help, through your contributions. After doing more than 40 years, after more than 40 years of conflict between the notorious Bloods and Crips, thousands of fallen gang members and innocent bystanders rest in graveyards across the nation. In retrospect, Gangsta Jake, a once menace to society hardcore gangbanger / serial killer whose sinister acts landed him on death row, declared a national peace treaty among the Bloods and Crips, right? Now, contrary to the Blood and Crip peace treaty of April 29, 1992, This one entailed consequences of death for those who chose to go against the Gangsta Jake truce that him and his assassins, the Young Gun Murder Squad, so adamantly believed in. Man, this page turner is a must read for those who feel that street gangs should be a part of our past in order to strengthen our futures. As I mentioned, man, in retrospect, man, we got over 50-year war. And guess how many people didn't die as a result of that? Thousands of people, as I mentioned, are in their graves. We got a job to do. Let's clean this thing up. What's the beef behind? If America dropped a bomb on Hiroshima, killed over 100-some-thousand people, and are able to live a life of some type of peace in aftermath, why the fuck we can't do it? Why we can't do it? Why we can't honor our dead, move forward? You know what I'm saying? Get stimulus from the government, rebuild this thing. It's a lot that goes into this story. And as time goes on, you guys are definitely gonna get a bar, but I'm not gonna give it to you all tonight. But I thank you guys for tuning in to this episode of the Gangsta Jake Read. This is the Gangsta Jake television read. I'm gonna be reading the stories about my Gangsta Jake story. I'm gonna be telling you guys about the movement as the movement goes forward. I'm going to be telling you guys about donations that come in. I'm going to be telling you guys about the process in general, because ultimately, before it's over with, you're going to see a TV series, and this is going to be the one you see with my name on it. John Singleton did it. So can I. See you guys from the top.